Welcome to Concrete Block, the podcast where we dive into the latest news and current events shaping our world. We're going to start with a developing story that's been making headlines around the globe. The conflict between the United States and Iran continues to escalate, with no clear end in sight. According to recent reports, President Trump has stated that the U.S. can take control of the Strait of Hormuz with a little more time, a critical waterway that carries about a fifth of the world's total oil consumption. This statement comes as the war in Iran enters its fifth week, following a joint U.S.-Israeli aerial assault. The situation has led to a significant disruption in global energy markets, with Iran effectively shutting down the Strait of Hormuz in retaliation for the strikes. The closure has resulted in soaring energy prices and raised concerns about the potential for further escalation. As the international community calls for a swift resolution to the conflict, President Trump's remarks have been met with vows of retaliation from Iran. The situation remains volatile, with both sides dug in and showing no signs of backing down. The impact of the war is being felt far beyond the region, with economies around the world beginning to feel the pinch. We'll continue to monitor this developing story and provide updates as more information becomes available. It's a complex and multifaceted issue with no easy solutions in sight. We'll be exploring different perspectives and analyzing the potential consequences of this conflict in the days and weeks to come. For now, it's clear that the situation remains fraught with uncertainty and tension. As we move forward, one thing is certain: the world will be watching closely as this story continues to unfold. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Concrete Block. Welcome back to Concrete Block. We're diving into the ongoing conflict between Ukraine and Russia, where the situation remains complex and volatile. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has stated that the frontline situation is the best it's been for Ukraine in the last 10 months, with Kyiv's troops successfully foiling a Russian offensive in March. However, Russian forces continue to grind down Ukrainian defenses, and the fighting rages on along over 200 kilometers of the front line. Despite the challenges, Zelensky remains optimistic, citing data from Ukrainian and British intelligence that suggests Russia has only advanced by around 500 square kilometers since the start of January. The Ukrainian General Staff has reported 230 combat clashes over the past 24 hours, with most of the attacks occurring near the logistics hub of Pokrovsk in the Donetsk region. Meanwhile, Zelensky has invited U.S. negotiators to visit Kyiv and potentially travel to Moscow in an effort to revive peace talks that have been suspended due to the ongoing war in the Middle East. The Ukrainian president has also offered his country's expertise in fighting off Russian drones, similar to those used by Iran in retaliatory attacks across Gulf nations. As the conflict continues to unfold, it's essential to consider multiple perspectives and avoid taking sides. The humanitarian toll of the war is significant, with countless civilians caught in the crossfire. It's crucial for all parties involved to prioritize diplomacy and work towards a lasting peace agreement. The situation on the ground remains fluid, with both Ukrainian and Russian forces experiencing gains and losses. As we continue to monitor the developments, it's clear that a peaceful resolution will require careful negotiation and compromise. We'll be keeping a close eye on this story and providing updates as more information becomes available. Welcome back to Concrete Block. Today, we're diving into a critical situation unfolding in Lebanon, where the country is facing an unprecedented crisis. The ongoing conflict between Israel and Iran has spilled over into Lebanese territory, with devastating consequences for civilians. As we explore this complex issue, it's essential to acknowledge the deep-seated tensions and historical context that have led to this point. The 1982 Israeli invasion and subsequent occupation of southern Lebanon created a power vacuum, allowing Hezbollah to rise as a dominant force in the region. Today, the group's influence extends far beyond its military capabilities, with a strong social and political presence among Lebanese Shiites. The recent escalation of violence has resulted in widespread destruction, displacement, and human suffering. The international community, particularly the United States, has a critical role to play in mitigating this crisis. By supporting Lebanon's new government and encouraging diplomatic efforts towards a ceasefire, we can work towards a peaceful resolution that prioritizes the country's sovereignty and stability. It's crucial to recognize that disarming Hezbollah is not solely a military exercise, but also a political one. The group's entrenched position within Lebanese society requires a nuanced approach, addressing the underlying grievances and concerns of all parties involved. A strong, sovereign central state in Beirut is essential for undoing the damage done to the country's cohesion and rebuilding trust among its citizens. As the situation continues to unfold, it's vital to remain vigilant and avoid actions that might exacerbate the conflict. The United States and other regional players must work together to prevent Lebanon from becoming a battleground for proxy wars, ensuring that the country's institutions are strengthened and its people receive the humanitarian aid they desperately need. In conclusion, the crisis in Lebanon serves as a stark reminder of the far-reaching consequences of regional rivalries and the importance of diplomatic engagement. As we navigate this complex landscape, it's essential to prioritize fairness, balance, and empathy, recognizing the inherent dignity and worth of all individuals affected by this conflict. That's all for today's Concrete Block. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay informed.